Hey guys, it is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we are going to get started. This morning I was just kind of driving down the road. I had a couple of errands to run and I just started thinking I have not gotten on here and really told my story in a little while. So I am excited to share tonight with you guys a little bit about my journey so far. I'm going to give it a few minutes, let some people log on, but I am just really excited about being able to talk to you guys and really just tell you about my story, tell you about my journey, tell you about the hard times because it hasn't always been easy. And hopefully you'll be encouraged and inspired by my journey so far. And hopefully you'll be able to share some of these things with your potentials and just really feel motivated and know that it's not always easy. And some of us, we get stuck and that's okay. So I'm going to give it just a few more seconds and then I am going to start from the beginning of my plexus journey. So let's see. We're building an audience here. So, okay. I'm just going to get started. First of all, 3 years ago this month was the first time that I ever tasted plexus. So y'all, 3 years. I can tell you it's gone by really fast and it's gone by really slow. Hey Lee. It has been a whirlwind most of the time. And then there were some times where it was slow and I had to do a lot of personal growing. So 3 years ago, let me tell you who I was. I was a very tired and very anxious and just kind of a very, a mom that was tired all the time. I needed a nap. I needed lots and lots of energy drinks. I was drinking energy drinks every day, sometimes 2 of them. So I needed drinks to stay awake, and then I took lots of sleep aids to go to sleep at night. So I was pretty messed up, you guys. I have been battling IBS since I was 13 years old. So to say that I had been struggling was an understatement. When I was 17, I got pregnant with my daughter. I was in high school and I was a junior in high school, you guys. And that threw my body for a loop. My body was not ready to be a mama at 17, but God's will and he gives us free will. And so I had this beautiful baby girl and my body just was not the same as before. And so on top of my IBS, I had migraines several times a month. I was just, my whole gut system was just destroyed. Actually, when I had a C-section with my daughter, and a week later, I had my gallbladder out. So, y'all, I was a mess. My health was a complete mess. And so, years went on. I never lost all my baby weight. I gained 73 pounds because I thought that she was going to weigh 70. So, I don't know why I thought that I could bring my skinny jeans to the hospital and wear them home. But I did. And 10 years later, my 40 pounds extra was still there. So when I found plexus, I still had 2 babies worth of weight on me and I was extremely tired. And I was working the night shift at the hospital, you guys, full time. And my daughter was homeschooled during the day. And then we had a toddler. So we were busy. We had blown through our savings. My husband was laid off at work months prior to plexus. So about 6 months before I started plexus, my husband was laid off from his job. And I went from, working part-time to being the total breadwinner. And you guys, mentally and emotionally and physically, I was not ready for that. and it was very hard for me. So he struggled to find work. He finally found work paying him about a fourth of what he was making before, and it was part-time limited work. So we struggled, and we blew through our savings. We maxed out credit cards, and I was in a salon one day with a friend, and the girl that was doing her hair, she saw a lady walk through the door, and she said, "Oh my goodness, what are you doing? You just look like you feel so good." And the girl was like, "I'm doing this stuff called Plexus." And we were all immediately like, "Oh, here we go." Like, we're about to get the whole pitch. We're about to be told, join her team and all this song and dance. And we knew we were not going to do it. Well, she starts telling us about it. She tries to get us to call her friend, and we're like, "No, we're not, we're not doing that." So you guys, this is where the story gets funny. So she leaves the salon, and my friend and I, we order 3-day trials from eBay. And that's like Plexus illegal now, so don't do that. I don't even think they sell them on eBay anymore. But we got the products in, and I threw it on the counter. She did too, and it was like 3 weeks later that we ever even tried it. So one day I got up and I was like, I'm so tired of being so tired. Like, I've paid the money for this 3-day trial. I've never ever tried it. So I might as well give it a shot. I mean, there was no way I could feel worse because I was already dependent on Monster Energy drinks or 5-Hour Energies or, coffee at work every 30 minutes or whatever it is. So I drank my first pink drink, and I took an accelerator because that was the first thing. That was the trial pack, was Slim and Accelerator. And so the first day I was like, oh my goodness, I think I feel a little better. So, but then I was like, Bridget, don't start this. Like, this is in your head. It says you're going to feel better and have more energy, and you're not going to have as many cravings. And so I was like, this is in your head, girlfriend. Like, stop that. Like, there is no way this is already working. So that night I was like, okay, all right, Bridget, that was in your head. Like, don't get excited. So the next morning I woke up. You guys, that night I did not use a sleep aid. I was laying in the bed, and I was kind of like watching TV with my husband, and I fell asleep. And that has not happened in a long time. First of all, when you work nights several days a week, it's very hard to just go to sleep on your nights off. So to not have to have a sleep aid was a big deal for me. I could just lay down and go to sleep. So the next day I woke up and I drank my pink drink, and I just had a different attitude. Like, I guess I was hopeful. I was just hopeful that I was feeling better. I was feeling a little bit more energy. I got through the day with my daughter. I did all her schoolwork. And then on the way to work in the afternoons, I would go to work about 5:30. So on my way to work, I did not have that craving, that urge to stop at the racetrack and get a Monster Energy drink. So I was so thrilled with that. I was so thrilled. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want a Monster Energy drink. That's a big deal. So I went to work, got through my shift. You guys, that's a big deal for me. That was huge. I mean, 2 to 3 a day I was drinking of these things. So big deal. So I get home the next morning, and I'm like, so Bridget, what are you going to do now? You don't have any more. Like, this is your last day. You've ordered this from eBay. You don't know anyone that sells it. So I started to search the internet for Plexus, and I wanted to see how you could buy more Plexus. And I found out it was a network marketing company, and you can only buy, like, you couldn't just go to their website and buy from, just the company. You had to buy from a distributor, an ambassador. So I went on local garage sale sites, and I started just looking through the pages to see if anybody sold Plexus, because I wanted to buy from someone here. I wanted someone I could talk to, because now I knew I loved the products. I wanted someone I could talk to, that I could build a relationship with here. So I call her, or I get her on the message. I send 3 messages, and my upline Lisa messaged me back. She was the only one that messaged me back ever. And so I said, Lisa, I need more products. Like, I need more. And I'm like, how can I get this, get more products? And she's like, I have some in stock. Come get some from me. So I go to her house, y'all. I'd never even met Lisa. Never met her. Found her on the yard sale site. Sent her a friend request. Craziness. So anyway, I go to her house, you guys, and I buy Plexus from her. This is also Plexus illegal, so do not do this. We didn't know at the time. There were not all these rules back then. But I bought a baggie, a Ziploc baggie full of Plexus from a lady from a garage sale site. I'm not kidding. So I get it home, and my husband is like, there are no labels on those pills. And I was like, this is Plexus. Like, I've got to take these. Have you not seen a change in my attitude? Like, I'm not going without these products. And so he was like all day worried about me because I was going to take these pills, and I did, from a Ziploc bag from a lady on a yard sale site. But you guys, I felt better than I had in probably 18 months. I felt so good. I had natural energy. I was motivated. I was happier. I was just very, very happy. I had a better outlook on life. My attitude was better. I wasn't quick to snap. I wasn't taking naps. I wasn't taking sleeping pills or drinking energy drinks. And so I was so excited about this that I was willing to take them from a baggie from a garage sale site lady. So that afternoon, after talking to him, she messaged me back and she's like, okay, so we've got to get you some products ordered. And I was like, well, I am not selling this. Been there, done that, had the room full of bags. I had been with 4 other network marketing companies, never made any money. So she's like, but if you know 3 friends that will need or use these products, you can get yours paid for. And when I say that we were in a financial situation, we were in a devastating financial situation. We were spending way more money than we were bringing in. Our bills were more than we could keep up with. I, at that time, was praying for God to open a door, to do something for our financial, our future. How I was going to pay the bills each month, how I was going to pay all the bills on time, keep the power on. How, I was playing that roulette game. What do I pay this week? What can I skip? Which one can I skip right now that won't turn it off? I knew the schedule in my head. I knew what I could pay when and who would shut my stuff off first. And y'all, that is a scary place to be. To always be trying to trick the system with your money and try to figure out what you can pay to keep your power on, your water on, your gas on. And so we were desperate. And I did not have the $100 a month for Plexus. I did not. But I knew that the mama that I needed to be needed these products. And I knew that the wife I needed to be needed these products. I knew that I was coasting through life. I knew that I had a bad attitude. I felt very helpless and hopeless for our future. I was very depressed and anxious. And I knew that it would be worth it if I would just find the way. So she told me that to find 3 friends. And I said, okay, I'm going to post enough to find 3 people, and that is all. So don't ask me to keep going and to build a team and to do all this stuff. I'm going to post until I get 3 people, and then I'm not posting anymore. And so she was like, okay. So y'all, prayed about it really hard because I knew I needed these products the cheapest. And I knew that if I could find 3 friends, getting these products free was the only way I would be able to be on these products consistently. So y'all, when I bought Plexus, when I bought my welcome pack, it left me $17 in my account for a week. So when I tell you I went out on a limb and I trusted God and I trusted Plexus enough to spend everything but $17 in my account to last my family for a week. I knew that I needed this. And I knew that if I needed it, there were others that could use it and would need it too. So I did it. I just went all in, got my welcome pack. I posted on Facebook. And y'all, I went silver in 2 weeks. I got my customers, I think the first or second day. And I was just real. Back then, there wasn't a bunch of graphics to share, and there wasn't shareables, and there wasn't all these amazing resources we have now. all I was doing was talking about the way that I was feeling. And I was reaching out to my mama friends and saying, girlfriend, I know you take a nap, because we've talked about it and we've compared who gets more naps, what time do you nap, all that stuff. So I know you nap and I know you need these products. So trust me, will you give me 30 days? Will you give me 60 days? So you guys, I'll tell you, in 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I went silver. I cannot remember if it was 2 or 3 weeks, because I signed all of them like in a weekend. And because I wasn't going to build a team, remember, I was not going to do that because with my other company, I tried to build a team for 3 years and I never got more than 4 people on my team in 3 years, y'all. And so, okay, so I went silver, and then it was 2 months and I went gold. And y'all, I was only going to post for my 3 people. But what I found was that this was real. This opportunity was realer than anything I had ever been in before. My first paycheck was $256, and that was for me working Plexus for 2 weeks. And y'all, I was only going to post enough to get my 3 people. And my husband was like, I think this is probably a bad idea. I don't know how you ever made that much money in 2 weeks, but this is probably, not legal. So we should probably, do some more research on this company. And because I'll tell you, in my other company, it would have taken me months to make $256. So, and I would have had to host a lot of parties. So I thought, if you can make $256 working for 2 weeks, you really need this money, Bridge. Like, you need to go all in, and you need to find a way to pay a car payment. So then my next goal was $500 a month. I was like, okay, I'm going to make $500 a month. And I remember talking to Lisa and saying, Lisa, do you think I can make $500 a month? And she'd be like, I don't know, girl. Like, I don't know about $500. That's an awful lot of money. And I'm like, I know. So I kept being personal, and I kept talking to people about what Plexus was doing for me. And like I said, there were no graphics to really share back then. We were just sharing from our heart. We were telling people what was working for us. So then I went gold in 2 months, and then senior gold in 4. And then I went ruby in 6 months. And then I went senior ruby in 10 months. And then I kind of sat at senior ruby for a little while. Needed some personal growth. And then at 14 months, I hit emerald. And you guys, this is where, well, first of all, month 4, I started covering our mortgage with Plexus. And that felt like an elephant came off my chest. To know that our home was paid for every month just by sharing these products, just by being bold, and just by being, being confident in these products and being confident in what this business was doing for me on social media, and not being afraid to share that. You guys, our mortgage was covered. Our mortgage was covered with Plexus income 4 months in, because I knew that this was the only place that I could be with my kids and make extra money. I did not have to go out and get a second job at night. I didn't have to go bartend. I didn't have to go be a waitress, because you guys, those ran through my mind a lot. Having to find a way to provide, or sending my husband to deliver pizzas at night. Those are the things that take you outside of your home. Those are the things that take you away from your family, your purpose, your why. So I knew that I was onto something here, and that if I could work it a little bit and make a good bit of money, if I put my focus forward and I drew my line, that I could change our future by being passionate and bold, and by doing this thing called Plexus. So 4 months I was covering my mortgage. At 6 months, I matched my pay at a hospital. Y'all, I went to college for that degree. I went into student loan debt for that degree. And so to be able to, in 6 months, match that was eye-opening for me. I could not believe that this was something I could do with my babies at home. I could not believe that this was something I could do in my bed after my kids go to bed and still be able to provide, just like I was whenever I was leaving my home. to go to the hospital. So at 10 months, I went Senior Ruby. At 14 months, I went Emerald. And that is when I earned my Lexus. And that is when I earned my yearly trip to Hawaii. And you guys, those things are so awesome. And they are such an amazing perk. But if you took all that away, the biggest perk about being a Jewel here with Plexus is the time freedom. The thing is that now I don't have to trade time for dollars away from my family. I don't have to work nights and miss all those things in the evenings or things first thing in the morning that my kids were doing. There was a long period of time during those where I was working weekends too, and I was missing softball games, and I was missing all of those things that my kids were doing. And I was grinding at work, and I was trading time for dollars. And the thing about Emerald that really changed everything for us is that not only were we paying all of our bills, but we were also putting up for our future. And that was big. To be able to be putting into, a good amount of money into a retirement account when you're in your late 20s is a big deal. And so we were setting ourselves up for the future. And that is eye-opening, especially for someone, that was just 14 months ago crying because they couldn't pay their power bill. So I really just want you guys to understand that if it took me 5 years to get to Emerald, it would have been worth it. Because how long at your job right now will it take you to make $110,000 a month, $120,000 a month? How long? How many promotions would you need? How much time would you need? And how many hours away from your family every single week would you need to make 6 figures a year? And that's eye-opening, right? I mean, come on. There are some of us that there's no amount of hours that we can work to make that kind of money. And so if this takes you 5 years, you guys go for it. You grind it out. You go, you work hard, and you don't stop. Because the only way you're never going to be a Joel is if you give up. If you work every day, you're going to be a Joel. And it may take 5 years, but I promise when you arrive, it wouldn't have mattered if it took you 14 months, because the reward is the same. That time freedom is the same. The other day, I was talking to, there was another Joel talking, and she put something into perspective for me that it hit me like a ton of bricks. And she was talking about residual income. Okay. So she said, there are people out there all the time that want residual income, which is money that comes in every month. You're doing some of the work, but then you've got a residual income from the team that you've built, the thing that you've built, the dream that you've built. That is paying you too. She said, look at your income and figure out if you were an entrepreneur and you owned rental properties, how many rental properties would you have to bring in your income right now? And it got me to thinking, that's a really good, that's a good way to look at it. Because here's the deal with me. I would have, the price of my home to rent in the school district that I'm in, I would have had to buy, you guys, this is going to be crazy for y'all. It's going to be mind blowing. I would have had to buy, to make what I make a month, I would have had to buy 8 to 10 rental houses in cash. So I would have had to purchase 10 rental houses with cash to make the residual income that I make right now with a $34.95 investment. Y'all, can you even, how mind-blowing is that? That's insane to think about that. To think that I would have had to buy 10 rental properties, 10, to make the monthly income that I make right now. And I'm talking about cash. I'm talking about to be able to clear the amount of money that I make right now. I would have had to buy 10 houses with cash. Who has that kind of money? No one. And so I paid $34.95 for this investment. I paid $34.95 for this opportunity. And Plexus does all the background work. If you own those 10 houses, guess who's doing the work? You are. But with this company, Plexus is doing the hard work. Plexus is getting all of our legality stuff done. Plexus is providing our back office. Those are the things that we don't think about. If you are a gold ambassador and you make $1,000 a month, do you know you would have had to buy one home in cash to make that kind of money residually? Cash. So when you start thinking about things like that, I hope that perspective can set in and you can really understand the potential that we have here. It is unlike anything you'll ever see with any other company. I can promise you that. You have to understand what you're holding. You have to understand that with $34.95, you and I, we have the same products. We have the same back office. We have the same opportunity. It's just a matter of if you are going to go for it and you are going to see this out and you're going to make those investments in your team. You're going to do that little bit of handiwork in those investment houses that you have. You're going to fix a customer service problem here and there. You're going to go out and recruit new, just like you would go out and buy new homes to flip and make as an investment. Invest in your business. There is no way to get a return of investment like with Plexus. So think about that. If you are making $500 a month, $600 a month, to make that residually, you would have had to go buy a small home and rent it out. And that home, you would have had to do with cash, a lot of it. And you would have to maintenance it. And you would have to have insurance on it. So when I'm telling you this is the real deal, and I'm telling you that residual income is a big deal, hold tight to that. Go tonight before you go to bed, reevaluate your income right now with Plexus and figure out how much capital you would have had going into this to have these as homes, to have these as physical properties. We are blessed that our company goes before us. And we are blessed, you guys, that our company does the groundwork. Our company does everything for us. All we have to do is share what we have. And these things that we have, we now know that they work. We have clinical studies, you guys, on these. So these work. Use a boldness and go after them. You would not buy an investment home and let it sit there unoccupied, unattended to. You would not. So maintenance your business. Maintenance it. Continue to grow and improve that rental home. And it will turn into a residual income that you will not believe for years to come. Because I'm telling you, I know some things. Plexus has a lot in store for us in 2017. So if you haven't started working your business, you sit down tonight and you find your rental property and you start working hard. You start investing and you start working hard. You start making your lists and you start investing in people and you start growing your business. Okay? So I want you guys to do that. I want you guys to understand what we have here. And I feel like the property, the way that you can think about it that way, the perspective is incredible. Because a lot of times we take this for granted that we're only maybe making $1,000 a month. But you guys, you would have had to purchase a home and probably spend $100,000 to $200,000 to be able to make that $1,000 a month residual income. So think about that. The next time you want to quit because you're just a silver ambassador or you're just a gold ambassador, you stop that because you're investing in your future and you would not let a rental home sit there unoccupied and rotting and dwindling away. You would not do it. So you maintenance that house. You maintenance your business and you go for it. Okay? All right. Anybody have questions for me? I know that I'm a little bit lagged here. So, I love that this Facebook Live will stay on this page and you'll be able to continuously watch it. So I love that. And I want you guys to ask me some questions if you want to. I can stay on here for a little while longer. So if anybody wants to stick around and ask me some questions, put some things underneath, I can answer those. But yes, I love that so many of you guys got on tonight. I'm so thankful. I love doing these Facebook Lives, and I'm going to do them more. And I think that I want to hear from a few of my leaders on Tuesday nights, maybe, to give their testimonies, because y'all, we have some amazing people on our team. If you guys just don't even know, we have some incredible people on this team, and I just feel like you guys need to hear from them more. So I think that I'm going to try to maybe tell them that they need to get on here on Tuesday nights and talk to y'all, because I feel like, you know, we're apart, but we're together, and we're one with Plexus, and this team is just amazing. And I think that we just really need to come together and celebrate more, and you know, all that stuff. So anyway, if you guys don't have any questions, which that's okay, I do all the talking usually anyway. So if you have one later, just put it underneath the video here, and I'll get back and I'll follow the video and all that kind of stuff. But okay, when life gets in the way, how do you reset and focus? That's a good question, Amber. Thank you so much for being bold enough to post that. Here's the deal, is I can get in that ditch. I've been in there. I've been in the ditch, okay? And I just have to go back to thinking that, you know, there's nothing ever that's easy, that's worth it. So I know that with hard work, I am able. I know that I'm able. And I know that God would never lead me on a path and just kind of stick me there. So I'll pray about it, and I ask for guidance. And then you know what I do? I just change my perspective and say, you know, you used to not have Plexus. And even on a really hard day, what I'm doing now is still way better than what I've ever done. So if you're still working full time, because I did that. I worked full time until I was almost Sapphire. So I know how to work. I know that working a business and working was hard. But I'm a big picture girl, and I knew why I needed this, and I knew why my family needed this. And so every time I got stuck in a rut, I went back to why I was doing this. And I went back to, Bridget, if you're doing what you're doing right now in 5 years, where are you going to be? At the hospital, where are you going to be? What kind of money are you going to be making? Are you going to still be in the same ditch you're in now? And then it's like, no, you know, yes, I would. Yes, I would with my job. But with Plexus, I'm not. I'm going to get closer every day to my goal. And when I chose to sacrifice some things for my business, and a lot of people don't, and that's okay. I was not okay, you know, with the slower pace. I really wanted a fast-tracked business. So I went all in. Y'all, I used to watch a lot of TV, and I'll tell you, I used to not ever miss a day of Days of Our Lives, because they were my family. Those were my people. I loved them. And I did not miss a day. Okay? But y'all, haven't watched them in 3 years. I haven't watched one episode. If there is something that I really want to watch or see, I DVR it. I usually use all of my time to do Plexus. I sacrifice that because I know short-term sacrifice is long-term gain. It's kind of like the debt snowball with Dave Ramsey. You can live like in a, you know, broke and whatever now to live, you know, with freedom later. It's just the same thing. I knew that my sacrifices would be worth it because there's people in this company that have gone before me and they were successful. And I knew them. And so I knew I could be. There's no reason I couldn't. You know, Celeste Gwynn, yes, she's had a great market, y'all. She had a great market. But you know what she didn't have? She didn't have other products that we don't have. She has the same products. The same products. You know what else she has? The same back office. The same opportunity. And so I always went back to that, Amber. I always went back and said, if she can do it, why can't I? Do you know the only person that is stopping me from doing this is me? Me. Because I'm the only person that can get up and work my business. And I'm the only person that can tell people about Plexus. And I'm the only person that cannot quit. And so I think that that's what I do to refocus. I just go back to why I'm doing this. I go back to my long-term goal. My long-term goal is for my family's future to be secure. My long-term goal is a bigger house. And my long-term goal is to have us some savings and to not worry about things, not worry about that, you know, in 2 years or in 5 years, you know, are we going to have enough in savings? My long-term goal, my first long-term goal was my husband to be home and for me to be home more. And that happened. I work 2 days a week. And y'all, I do that for insurance. Whew. But I'm blessed to have a job where if I work 2 days a week, I get full benefits, full retirement, 401k, I get full life insurance for my family. So those are things that I won't ever give up. And I'm super passionate about my other job because I actually help people at my other job too. If you don't know, I am a sonographer at a local hospital. So I do ultrasound and I'm real passionate about that. And I'm real passionate about helping others. So I love that job and I worked real hard for that job. I went to school a long time for that job and I, do a lot of things every single year to keep my degree. And so I feel real passionate about that. So I still work, but I work 2 days a week, y'all. I'm home 5 days a week with my family. Our family's home 5 days a week. My kids, they see their daddy all the time. He's at everything. He's constantly somewhere doing something with them. And those are the memories that are worth it to me. And so I think, Amber, just really understanding your why. And if you don't know it, you need to find it because that's what's going to get you through those hard days. When that roller coaster comes down and you're sitting there waiting to take off again, the only thing that's going to keep you on that roller coaster is your why and it being big enough and you having something that makes you passionate and something that you're willing to sacrifice for. That's the biggest thing, I think. It's just understanding why you're doing this. Are you doing this for your mama? Are you doing this for your kids? Who are you doing this for? And I think once you've decided that and you've determined what you're doing this for, nothing will get you off that roller coaster. You're going to go up and you're going to come back down a couple more times, but it's going to be worth it. I promise. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. The end result is the same. So enjoy your journey, work hard, and know that God has a purpose for your journey. So even on those hard days, stay on that roller coaster and you continue to remember why you started and what your passion is and what you are going to do when you hit Emerald and how that's going to look for your life. Let's see. What else? What is your go-to when you meet people in public? Okay. I talked about this a little bit last night on a call I did for Kelly. I love to say, oh my gosh, hey, what's your name or whatever? And I'll say, oh my gosh, do you work around here? What do you do? And y'all, there's not many people that are like, oh, I work for, whatever. And then don't say anything else. They'll usually be like, oh, I work for so-and-so, the dentist. What do you do? Love that. I love it. I'm like, oh girl. I'm like, oh, I work at the hospital some, but I'm real passionate about my other job. My job it's called Plexus. I have a health and wellness company and my husband and I, we do it together. It's really fun. Have you ever heard of Plexus? So I'm really big on trying to start that conversation and talk about that. I heard Timmy Yancey not too long ago say, form, it's family. And then the O is occupation. R is recreational, and then M is the message of Plexus. So asking about their family, asking about their occupation, and then recreational things like where do your kids take sports? What dance classes do your kids go to? Those type things to open up that conversation and then slide in that message of Plexus. So it's really about investing in others, investing in the conversation, and then kind of being able to slide that in there or saying, someone you talk to them, what do you do? Where do your kids go to school? And it's like, oh, well, one goes here and one goes here. I'm always so tired, and it's like, oh, girl, I used to be tired all the time. But, I started taking Plexus a couple years ago. Have you ever heard of it? So I think being genuine and just listening, sometimes we have to be quick to listen and slow to speak. And so just really listening to what others are saying about their family, about their occupation, and then about the things that their kids are doing after school, the recreational things that, these mamas are busting people around to everything. So anyway, just engaging in a conversation, a genuine conversation, and then finding a way to ask them what they do or, how they spend their day or something like that. So that's my favorite thing to do. That's why I really love like new groups of moms and stuff like at church or whatever. I love to be like, oh, when they go around the room and they're like, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm like, oh, like, yay. Like I love that part. So for me, it's a little easier because if you haven't noticed, I'm a true blue. I love to have fun. So that's easy for me. But for you, I think just being in a conversation and being intentional, I think that would really make a difference. So give that a shot. And then also swag, wear swag. Make sure you're wearing your hat, your clothes, whenever you can, wear your swag. Drink your pink drink in front of others. Whatever you can do to get people engaged and, just real excited about what you're maybe doing and curious. So my rock star, one of my rock stars, level one's Angel. She's a sapphire and she joined me. I was silver when she joined, and her very first thing she ever did to get any kind of interaction was she drank her pink drink at work one day. She, instead of drinking it on the way, she drank it there. So it was a really great way to just build her business and start having people ask about it and that kind of thing. So try to use the opportunities to drink your Slim in front of others. So like at Christmas, make sure you take your Slim. If you do breakfast at your parents' house or whatever, drink your Slim before breakfast right when you get to your parents instead of in the car, because no one's really seeing you in the car, So drink it when you get there. Take your block. So I think just being intentional with what you're doing, wear your swag, and then really just invest in some conversations. I hope that helped. Okay, so do you lead with the products or business, or does it depend? Well, it usually depends, but I will say not many people get by me without the business opportunity because I always lead with, I saw that you were very tired. I saw that you were having some health issues. I've really run across this amazing product a couple years ago. I'd love for you to give me the opportunity to talk about it. Then I'll talk to them about that. And then I'll say, but listen, we had the best compensation plan. If you truly don't feel like you can afford Plexus, let me show you how to get your products paid for. Our compensation plan is genuinely unique. So it depends, but I'm really passionate about this business opportunity because as you can see, it's life-changing. And most people don't understand with a very small investment, residually, what that can do for them. So I'm very passionate about that because I'll tell you what, there are not a lot of people that cry themselves to sleep at night because they're overweight or because they, are fatigued. But there are a lot of people out there, you guys, that cry themselves to sleep at night because they don't have enough money to provide for their family. So be passionate about that because I'm telling you what, finances are a huge, huge deal with people's health. You can see someone's health deteriorate when their financial status is really bad and in bad shape. So be passionate about this opportunity because there are a lot of people crying themselves to sleep at night because they don't have enough money to pay their power bill. So be passionate. Kim, I would say it kind of depends on the person, but I never ever miss an opportunity to talk about miss a chance to talk about the opportunity. Whenever they talk about pricing, usually preferred and wholesale are the only ways I go. And usually wholesale, I'll just say the cheapest way is wholesale. And with just 3 friends, you're going to make enough to pay for your products. So that's kind of the way I go with that. Okay. Which IPA activity do you feel is most beneficial? Okay. The IPA activity that I feel is most beneficial is definitely like building relationships and reaching out. So it's kind of 2. The first one is you've got to open your market. You've got to open your market. If you're stuck and you don't feel like any of your friends are in love with Plexus anymore, you got to keep going. You got to reach out and get some more friends. Find some friends of friends. Go back through middle school friends. Go add some people that you went to middle school with. You were in their dance class. You worked with them when you were 18. Build your network. Get new people in front of you. Join some online mom groups. If you're really passionate about Matilda Jane, get your fanny in a Matilda Jane online online boutique and start networking and meeting some mamas. Find something you're passionate about. Find a group because there is one on Facebook. I can promise you there's one for everything. And meet some new people. So that's really important. And then reaching out, being authentic and reaching out to people in an authentic way. Not, hey, have you heard of Plexus? Buy my stuff. Reaching out. I noticed your posts for the last few weeks. Your new baby is, the most handsome thing. I just love that you're a new mama. If you ever need anything, I can remember those days. Build that relationship. And then you can hit them with Plexus later because we all know new mamas need Plexus and everybody needs Plexus. So reach out and be genuine. And I guess just really being authentic and building relationships would definitely be my favorite IPA activity. Reaching out and then expanding my market. Was my husband supportive right away? And how did you get him on board with Plexus? Okay, y'all. When I told him I was going to join Plexus, he literally did this right here. Watch. Y'all got to watch me now. He did this. Literally. He literally did that. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Number 1, this was the 5th one. I had been with 4 others. So this was number 5 that we were going to do. Okay? We were broke. So we needed food. We did not need a business. Okay? So he was not super happy with me. And number 2, we still have a room downstairs that is full of all of my display stuff and my new patterns, my new prints, and my different sizes. We still have all those downstairs. So he was not super excited at all, but he is so sweet and he's loved me for a long time, and he knows my crazy just kind of gets worse every year. So I don't think it really shocked him. And he said, how much is it? And I kind of didn't tell the whole truth. I said $34.95, but I forgot to that other $100 I was going to spend at the same time. But anyway, the opportunity was only $34.95, so that wasn't a total lie. But I did say it's $34.95, and he said, okay, well, it's $34.95. I need you to at least make back your $34.95. I was like, I mean, surely I can do that. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh God, like it took me a while to earn back $35 in my last company. So, he was not. It's not that he was unsupportive, but he was not like wearing swag, like go Plexus, like, you know, getting on calls with me or anything at the beginning at all. But I think the first check scared him. He was like, this may not be legal, but let's do some more research. And then y'all, when I started paying our mortgage, he was so thankful because he was getting to be a dad a lot, and he was getting to go on field trips, and he was really enjoying only working part-time after being the sole provider for a very long time. And he got behind me once he saw that I was serious and that this was not going to be another fly-by-night thing, and that people were actually needed what I was having, and I wasn't having to leave the house. My old company, I had to leave the house, y'all, like every Friday or Saturday night because it was party-based. So I had to go get in front of people, and I had to do parties. And so I think because we didn't have inventory, that was number one, because that was the major eye roll, you know, inventory. And then the fact I wasn't leaving the house. So he got behind me about 4 months in, like really, truly pumped up. And y'all, now he's basically, he talks about it all the time. He turns our little HOA meetings into a Plexus event. So he's super supportive now, of course, but he's always been okay and supportive. That's just his personality. He wasn't going to tell me no, but I knew he wasn't very pleased. But y'all, this is different. So if your husbands are skeptical, I just want you to encourage you to tell them how different this is, that you're not going to have to leave your home every night of the week to make any money. And that, you know, this is just really a true networking business. We're going to love on each other through social media, and we're going to have meetings and go on fun trips a couple times a year. That this is just really something that takes it's a low risk investment, and the return on investment is very high. So I think if you're passionate and you truly show that, I think if you're kind of like, I don't know, you're going to give that vibe off to them. If you're passionate and confident, they will be too. But if you're not, and you waver in your belief, their belief is going to waver too. Because I can remember there was one time I got in the ditch, y'all. I was in the ditch bad. And he was like, oh my gosh, like, are we done with Plexus? Like, what are we going to do? Is this not a real thing? And I was like, huh? You know, I needed him to be like, this is all, you know, you're fine. And my self-doubt, it was leaking onto him. And so I think if you're confident and you're passionate about it, I think that will definitely carry over, and they will be too. So if not, there's tons of skeptical husband calls that they can listen to and just really find out how we're different. So let's see what else. Let's see. Love that. Heather, I just love you. We love Daniel, even if he's not supportive right now. He will be. I know it. It's coming. It is coming. And you know what? I'll tell y'all, if he would have not supported me, I probably would have went diamond in 36 days. And let me tell you why. Because I'm one of those people that if you tell me I can't do something or I'm not going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it faster than you've ever seen before in your life. So if he was not supportive of me, it would have been really bad. So, girl, you can do this. I know he will be. And he probably is. He just isn't ready to tell you yet. That's just his personality, sister girl. Okay. So, all right. Let's see. My husband got on board when he got to help pick out the Lexus. Yeah, that was pretty much. And then the Maui trip, because he knew if his butt wasn't on board, his butt wasn't getting on that plane. So y'all, he had a real big smile real quick. I'm just kidding. I really wouldn't have took him though if he would have been mean about Plexus. Let's see. What else? Yes, $1,000 a month is a big deal. Y'all, when I passed his income that he was making at his other job as a district manager, y'all, he was like, I was like, well. So they get on board really quick. So I think just keep going. Prove them wrong. Do this for yourself. Okay, so what are some great ways you team build with such a large team? Jenny, you're asking some great questions. And be honest, I don't think of you guys a lot as a big team. I can't. It's a lot. It's real overwhelming because, like I said before, my other network marketing company I was with for years, and I had 4 people on my team. And right now I have 3,800 on my team in 3 years. So I really just break you guys down into little groups. So I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so's group, and that's so-and-so's group. And I think of you guys kind of just in an individual, like, little pod basis. And I try to just do things with you guys behind the scenes, in smaller groups. And I think that helps the most, is just kind of try to find and connect with a few at a time. And then overall, I think just being present on your team page and just being present when you can and interact on your team's posts and on their pages. And then maybe do some individual, like maybe find 4 or 5 people and do some training with them and so on and so forth. But you guys, I go, I think 14 levels deep. So I have a really deep team. And so I try to really love on and encourage my upper levels, my 1s, 2s, and 3s. And then I pray that they duplicate that down. Now, with that being said, I know that most of y'all know this. If you're my level 4 or 5, you can come to me and I'll be there for you. So while I'm saying this, at the same time, I have level 4s that I talk to every single day. So I think that it's just a matter of training your people and allowing them to duplicate that down, and kind of just loving on your leaders and helping them and showing them how to duplicate, and then always being up for doing things with them. So if you have like a runner that's silver, always try to, try to say things to them like, can I help you with this month? Or I'd love to run an incentive for your team, or whatever it is. So just being engaged and being present. And then something I'm going to work on next, starting in 2017, is really just trying to one-on-one connect with people on my team, and allowing and loving on them and coaching them, and then praying and hoping that they duplicate that with their people. So it does get harder. At Gold, I felt like I could manage my whole little family, but it's a little bit harder now. So I rely on you guys a lot, and you guys are superstars. So it works out real well. Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all for being on. I'm so thankful that all of you guys took some time out of your night. And you guys will never know, ever, how grateful I am. And I know how this works. And I know that without you guys, my family's future would be different. It would look very, very different. And so I'm grateful. I hope that y'all know that. If you know me, I hope you know that my heart is for you. I'm for you. I'm not against you. I pray for you guys. I pray for your business. I pray for your goals and your dreams. And I know that God is using you to bless me. And that's very humbling. And I'm just so grateful that God trusted me with so many amazing people on my team. So I love y'all so much. You are the heart and soul of this team, and I'm so thankful and grateful. So, all right, love you guys so much, and hopefully next Tuesday night we can get another superstar on our team to share their testimony, and you guys can ask some great questions. So, all right, y'all have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.